Continuing our reflections on quantum body and quantum mind and quantum reflections, I wish to once again bring up the issue of the hard problem of consciousness, which goes back in the West to all the way to Plato. So Plato was what we call an idealist, and his student Aristotle was a physicalist. And we are still duking out that issue. Does the mind create the brain, or does the brain create the mind? Or are the two being created by something else? So, a while back, I had the thought that the one way to look at the mind brain issue is to think of mind and brain as complementary aspects of each other, in the same way as the wave particle duality of light. The wave particle duality of light is quite similar. So this could be a speculative framework to work from. Here's how the analogy might work. Waves. Imagine the mind as a wave, spread out, fluid, and dynamic. It represents the subjective experience of consciousness, including thoughts, feelings, emotions. The wave nature allows for a holistic and interconnected understanding of reality. Now, that's a little bit about the wave. Let's look at particles. In contrast, we can think of the brain as a collection of particles representing the physical structure and processes that underlie mind activity. The brain's neurons fire, chemicals interact, and electrical signals transmit information, all contributing to what we call the neural correlates of mind. Just like light can't be understood solely as a particle or a wave, the relationship between mind and brain might not be reducible to one or the other. Instead, they could be considered complementary aspects of a single underlying reality, which would be pure consciousness. Pure consciousness, infinite, irreducible, fundamental, without cause, beyond space-time, spaceless, timeless, without borders, and incomprehensible intellectually, but experiential when we go beyond the fluctuations of consciousness that we call qualia, or qualities of awareness, such as sense perceptions and images and feelings and thoughts. So here are the fundamental potential benefits of viewing mind and brain through the lens of complementarity. This overcomes the mind-body problem. This framework could help bridge the gap between the seemingly disparate realms of subjective and what we call the objective, offering a more nuanced understanding of consciousness. This would also explain the subjective experience that we call qualia. The wave-like nature of the mind might explain the subjective qualities of consciousness, and also why there is unity and coherence. And then, of course, the particle-like nature of the brain could explain at least the neural correlates of consciousness, providing insights into how physical processes, such as the neural correlates, and mental processes, such as sense perceptions, images, feelings, and thoughts, are complementary to each other and entangled with each other. Now, having said all this, these are models of reality, and they're human models of reality. In the end, fundamental reality is what we call existence, that which exists. And I would say awareness of existence, because awareness of existence is existence. And that is the infinite being. that we all are. So, is the mind creating the brain? Is the brain creating the mind? And are either of these giving us access to truth? I would say no, because the mind is a very provisional, constructed identity based on race, religion, economics, history, mythology, culture. It's very provisional, the conditioned mind. And it is that which then projects or correlates with what we call the brain activity. And so, mind and brain are both giving us the experience of separation. So, when people go in deep into meditation, transcend both the mind activity, they also transcend brain activity. At that time, they know themselves as infinite beings. No system of thought, even quantum mechanics or mathematics, can give us access to reality, because thought itself is a product of that. And thought is what conditions us and bamboozles us into the separate mind. So that is what creates, of course, anxiety and anger and hostility and guilt and shame and depression, all the social constructs of the conditioned mind. And I mean, all as a result of the social construct of the conditioned mind. Reality is one. So, what we call brain, mind are modified expressions of them, and actually misleading expressions, because while they make the human experience possible of the human universe, they also hide truth from us, fundamental truth, which is reality is one process. Mind, brain, body, universe are human constructs for a single process. And that single process is the whole movement that you and I are of the total universe. Our only true identity is Aham Brahmasmi. I am the universe. Only when we find that identity will we go beyond the scourges of war, terrorism, conflict, social economic injustice, climate change, chronic disease, mental and physical, and total absence of joy. Joy is our fundamental state that goes beyond the separate mind. Let me know your thoughts, and have a wonderful time with this playground that we call life, the playground in the theater of space-time and causality, all constructed provisionally by the timeless eternal self, Atman, Brahman.